بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا زدنا علما. اللهم نسألك الإخلاص والقبول وأن تنفعنا اللهم بما نقول. اللهم إن وبعد. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Tajweed 101 course, simple step-by-step Tajweed course that enables you inshallah to learn how to read the Quran properly بإذن الله تعالى. Welcome, my name is Maghfira and I'm an online Quran teacher, and you are watching Maghfira 101, the place to learn and know and understand how to read the Quran properly, inshallah, and understand its meaning. And then inshallah we're going to move to a new characteristic بإذن الله تعالى, which is about الإطباق والانفتاح. Okay, so just a quick reminder for you that we have characteristics that have an opposite and some other characteristics has no opposite. From the characteristic that has an opposite, الهمس والجهر, and we did it on a separate video. الشدة والرخاوة, we did it on another video. الاستعلاء والاستفال, and the other one is الإطباق والانفتاح, adhesion and openness. Okay, so as we agreed that we are dividing Arabic letters in terms of something new or something, and we divide the letters according to that thing into two categories or so. So these are the letters that, or the characteristics that has an opposite. On this characteristics, we are comparing the Arabic letters in terms of the sound compression. Okay, so if you read the Arabic letter, you will notice that some of the letters are kept inside the mouth, which is we cover all of that on the heaviness and lightness lessons. You can return back to them. I can put for you the link down, inshallah. And for the sound compression, we have two parts of the letters. مطبقة, or adhering letters, where the sound are kept inside the mouth and the sound is compressed between the surface of the tongue and the roof of the mouth, and these are called حروف مطبقة. And the other one is الانفتاح. So there is no sound compression between the surface of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. Okay, so let's see what are the letters that are having these characteristics. الإطباق, as you see here, it is the compression, and puts a very sharp mind on the word compression. Okay, because the sound is really compressed, and you will feel that when you read it properly, you will feel this compression on the sound when you do it. Okay, so it is the compression of the sound between the tongue surface and the roof of the mouth. So if this is the tongue surface, this is the roof of the mouth, you really will feel the sound is compressed between the surface of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. We have the letters that has this characteristics is صاد, ضاد, طاء, and ظاء. You will feel that when you read صاد, that the sound is compressed on this exact area. صا. So on the صاد, as you may notice, we have استعلاء, and this is a characteristic where the sound goes towards the roof of the mouth, the sound direction. But now we talk about the sound compression. So the sound on صاد do two things. Goes towards the roof of the mouth and compressed between the surface of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. Okay, the same for ضاد, the same for طا. So when you say أص, أطو, طا, طا, you have to feel this compression between the surface of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. Sound compression inside your mouth, you feel the sound inside between the tongue and the roof of the mouth, as I just said. Okay, its opposite is the openness. So if we need to talk about the openness or al-infitah, it is its opposite. So no sound compression between the roof of the mouth and the surface of the tongue, and it is for the whole Arabic letters that are not ضاء, طاء, and صاد and ضاد. Okay, not صاد, ضاد, طاء, and ضاء. So now we have new concepts, or two concepts concerning sounds that are heavy and that are light. Okay, so the heavy letters, in terms of the sound compression, we have two different categories. منفتحة, open, so off, like off letter, so the sound goes up but without compression, and مطبقة, which is the sound compressed between the surface of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. Okay, so the heavy letter, in terms of the sound compression, we have منفتحة, open, that has no sound compression, like قاف, no sound compression, and مطبقة, which are ضاء, so the sound compressed between the surface of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. If we need to divide the Arabic heavy letters into مطبقة and منفتحة, so we have خاء منفتحة, صاد مطبقة, ضاد مطبق, غين منفتح, طاء مطبقة, and ظاء is مطبقة. So for the Arabic heavy letters, we have صاد, ضاد, طاء, and ظاء. These are compressed letters مطبقة, while خاء and غين and قاف, they are open without compression and they are heavy, so the sound goes up without any compression of the sound between the surface of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. So if we need to compare now between the Arabic letters in general in terms of the sound direction, so we have the استعلاء, so the sound goes up, and مستفلة, which is the sound goes down. So don't struggle on this point. Separate between two concepts: sound compression and sound direction. Okay, sound compression, we have open letters, which is منفتحة, and compressed letters, which are مطبقة. This concept, and the other concept is the sound direction, elevated and lowered, and this concept we explain it in details on the previous videos. I will show you the links inshallah in the description box. Okay, so now in terms of the sound direction, the opened letters, we are talking about the open letters, which has no compression of the sound, no sound compression. Okay, these are two. Number one is مستعلية, the sound goes up, and مستفلة, the sound goes down or escape from the mouth, which is all the light letters. So the Arabic letters may be one of these three categories. It may be elevated and compressed, okay, like صاد, ضاد, طاء, and ظاء, okay, and maybe elevated and opened like خاء, قاف, and غين, okay, and maybe lowered and opened. So lowered means light, no sound elevation, and opened means no sound compression. Okay, so any Arabic letter can be just under one of these categories: elevated and compressed, okay, these letters only; elevated and opened, these letters only, خاء and غين and قاف; and lowered and opened, the rest of the Arabic letters except this group and that group. Okay, so the elevated letters that I just showed you may be elevated and compressed, and maybe elevated and lowered. Okay, elevated and compressed are صاد, ضاد, طاء, and ظاء. Elevated and lowered may be غين, خاء, and قاف. There's a very important rule here about the elevated letters that are compressed. The elevated letters and are compressed is stronger than the elevated and lowered, stronger on heaviness. Okay, so when we make the صاد heavy, we make صا, and when we make غين heavy, we make غا. So the strength of the صا is stronger because of the compression sound. When we do, it will be clear on the كسرة. When we do صي, we have to feel the compression before you do كسرة, and on غي, no compression. And so you feel that the level of the heaviness on صاد will be more than on غين or خاء on قاف. So when you make the heavy sound for the قاف كسرة, don't make it as a قوي, not قوي. This is, you do compression for قاف. قاف has no compression, so no need for making قوي. It just قي, because it is open letter, and the sound, yes, goes up, but for a tiny amount, because the كسرة shows the least elevation level. Okay, so خي, قي, غي is less the elevation than صي or ضي or طي or ظي. So you feel the sound is compressed on these letters instead of that letters. Okay, so you add one more information about the heavy letters, that we have levels on them, why letter صاد is more heavy than غين, and so on. Okay, so let's see some examples of the levels of elevation or of تفخيم, of heaviness. Here we have ضامر, ضامر. You'll found the sound of heaviness of ضاد is more heavy than غين. So غالب, it is a little bit less than ضامر. Yes, both are heavy sound, but ضاد is heavy more because of the compression sound or the compression characteristic. Okay, the same for وطوري, وطوري سنين. And instead of وقوموا, the elevation for طا is more, and the heaviness for طا is more than for the قاف. The same for ضيزة, عظيم. When you make ضاد كسرة ضي, you make it ضي. So you feel the compression first, then go to كسرة ضي and ضي, ضي and ضي. Okay? If we do this compared to قيل, you'll find that the sound is open and the sound escape without being compressed between the surface of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. وغيضة, the same. وخيفة, do not do it as قيل. غيضة, خيفة. I listen, some sisters do that. So خيفة. I said that no, not خيفة, it's خيفة. It is not compression, no compression on these letters. Not غيضة, غيضة. They are afraid for making them light, but these are weaker than these two letters, or these the compression letters. ضيزة, it is okay to do it like ضيزة, not ضيزة. These. Now don't do it like without compression of the sound. I think that is enough for today. جزاكم الله خيرا for you watching. Catch you the next lesson بإذن الله تعالى. Please take your time completely to understand this lesson, because you may find it at the beginning a little bit struggling, but after that inshallah you will find it so easy بإذن الله تعالى. جزاكم الله خيرا for you watching. Catch you the next lesson بإذن الله تعالى. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.